が。え？
This is part 3 of Beast Tamer. Welcome back to AniRecapz. Like and subscribe so you never miss our quality uploads. A flashback reveals Sora detailing the condition of Sora's release given by the Shadow Knight by lowering the barrier over the fairy village by sundown. Knowing this information, Rain's group heads to the Shadow Knight's location but refuses to allow Sora to tag along as it would break her deal with the monster. Reaching the Shadow Knight's location, Rain's group finds it sitting on a throne with Runa, and immediately Rain casts a fireball against it as a feint. It allows Canidae and Rain to land a few blows against the Shadow Knight, who realizes that Sora sent Rain's group and then attacks Runa. However, Tanya protects, releases her from her captivity, and flees the scene carrying her away. After forming a temporary contract with some Arby's to act as a distraction, Rain casts Boost on Canidae, who utilizes her bolstered power to defeat the Shadow Knight. After Rain's explanation of the boost spell to Canidae, Tanya returns to them, still carrying Runa in her arms. Tanya also notes her perplexion about how Rain knew a powerful lost art, but he claims everyone in his village was privy to it. As Runa awakens, Rain informs her that Sora had asked them to rescue her, making Runa feel relieved. Afterward, Runa embraces Sora, and the two thank Rain's group for their actions. A brief scene concerning Runa's crude thoughts about Rain and Sora's reprimanding of her sister occurs, leading Rain to believe they're polar opposites. Although Canidae had hoped Sora and Runa would return to their village, Sora notes that since Runa had been excommunicated from there, she wants to distance herself from there. Having no place to go or adequate knowledge of the outside world, Canidae invites the fairies to join them. Rain allows it and forms a contract with the two. Later that day, Rain meets the heroes' party so he could finish the quest to find and give to them the Shield of Truth, while this party secretly watches. However, Arios is flabbergasted. He realizes that it took Rain's group only 2 days to retrieve the shield, and yet it took his own group 2 weeks and was unable to succeed. With Arios refusing to acknowledge the Shield of Truth was real, Rain suggests his group examine its authenticity. Lena casts appraisal on it, which shocks everyone in her party that it's the genuine shield. Arios notices the 2 new faces in Rain's party. Not wanting to create a scene where 2 fairies are in a human settlement, Rain demands his quest reward and is given his 20 gold coin reward. Before Rain could again sever ties with the heroes' party again, Agath stops him and asks if he'd be interested in rejoining the party. Despite Arios' agitation over the offer, Agath realizes the team's inadequacy without Rain's support. Mina and Leon both reluctantly agree with Agath's suggestion and ask if Rain would accept his offer. However, Rain refuses as he's content with his current life. Agath entices him with fame and fortune, but Rain still refuses them. Once Rain had left, Agath, Mina, and Lena opine their disdain for Rain refusing their offer. They leave Arios, who was still embittered by his defeat against Rain. He was still agitated and vows to eliminate him. Elsewhere, underneath a tree, Rain explains to his party the legend of the first hero who defeated the Demon King. Apparently, only one with the blood of the gods can be the hero and have unrestrained potential called Limit Break to be capable of defeating the Demon King. Arios was thought of as fairly weak compared to Rain, and Sora notes that he could be the real hero, going on to explain his accomplishments by taming everyone in his party. Canidae then suggests that Rain should tame more spirits, which would grant him more than enough power to defeat the Demon King, and Tanya concurs. Rain feels that the idea is crazy. He notes the responsibilities and how he's only managed to achieve everything thus far thanks to all their support. Although, Rain doesn't completely dismiss the idea as it's far too early to decide on such an endeavor. The others pledge their support no matter what he will ultimately decide. The next day, Rain wakes up after a blanket falls on him. He sits up and sees all the girls sharing the bed. He wishes that a room becomes vacant soon to accommodate their party. Everyone wakes up to start breakfast, with the new additions to the team, the fairy twins enjoying their food quite nicely. They begin to discuss Rain's equipment as he has mostly been relying on his contracts with animals and fighting barehanded in combat, which wasn't practical in a long run. Rain especially agreed to this as he recognizes the need to become stronger to protect his most precious comrades in battle. Walking through the streets, Sora and Runa were feeling rather skittish and shy from the people around them since they were somewhat recluse from society, not to mention that they were hiding their identity as fairies. They eventually came across a bunch of the people in town, a pair of adventurers that once challenged Tanya at the Stride Bridge, coming to pay their respect and admiration towards Tanya as an adventurer. Then Canaday came across a lady selling fruits and received an apple from her in gratitude for carrying boxes of apples in the past, something the fairies were taken aback due to Canaday's racial superiority. Finally, a group of children came around and teased Rain for having a party composed of Maine women and gaining another pair of brides for his harem, making him a bit flustered. This would allow Sora and Runa to open up a bit towards them, but Sora's mischievous side would start to get the best of her, almost casting magic that would reveal her fairy wings if it wasn't for Rain's and Sora's interference. The party arrives at the best weapon shop in town, under Tanya's recommendation. It was owned by a rather intimidating dwarf named Gantz, who allowed me to look around the shop. Runa found and recommended a whip for Rain as it was fitting for a beast tamer, though she mostly used it to tease her sister with innuendos. Rain eventually came across a knife, something he was familiar with, and it appears to be nice, but Rain finds something strange about it. Then an adventurer came to the store and asked the dwarf for the best grade weapon he has in exchange for a great amount of money. The dwarf handed them a rather good-looking sword, and the adventurer praised its quality, leaving with satisfaction. As the customer would leave, Rain started questioning the dwarf on the quality of the weapons in the shop, recognizing that they only looked rather good, but is lacking functionally as weapons in battle. Laughing, Gantz revealed that the majority of the weapons he was selling were mass-produced and crafted somewhat with ease. Runa accused the dwarf of scamming his customers for low-quality goods, but Gantz backed up his costs due to his dwarven craftsmanship. He claims that selling weapons that were at least better than average despite their craftsmanship. However, it was nothing compared to the weapons he made with great effort, which he only sold to those he deemed worthy, thus testing his customers with a shop filled with good-looking weapons but was somewhat lacking in quality. Gantz revealed himself to be a rather principled artisan in crafting weapons and often finds himself disappointed whenever his work is chosen and treated poorly by his customers, especially after putting so much effort into crafting them. This earned him a friend in Tanya, who shared the same sentiments as an excellent warrior. Gantz then wanted to question Rain on how he was able to recognize the weapon's quality as he made them hard to distinguish. Rain explains that as a beast tamer, he had developed great observation skills from taming animals, and it turned into a habit that he would use for everything and not just animals. This earned the dwarf's respect. He wanted to make MC a special weapon, but unfortunately, he ran out of mithril to use. The dwarf used to have a supply mined from the mountain he inherited from his ancestors, but he seems to be having trouble finding any recently. Rain and his party offered to investigate in exchange for a weapon, turning down the reward for gold coins. They arrive at the guild to accept the request. They heard the news that Rain's former party is looking for new members, making Rain somewhat gloomy upon remembering the past. Fortunately, he was comforted by the company of his team members and strived to move on, introducing 2 new members to the guild receptionist Natalie, though with some misunderstandings involved. As the party begins its journey, the twins have a bit of a hard time due to their lack of stamina and the warm weather. Deciding to cool down at a nearby lake, all of the female members take a swim. Rain takes a break after taming 2 squirrels to warn him if the girls are in danger. The girls take their clothes off and cool down at the lake. The twins note that Canaday and Tanya have bigger melons compared to them. Runa feels that compared to their melons, Canaday's and Tanya's are enormous. She asks how she can make her melons grow as large as theirs. I don't know guys, maybe they should just use spells to help enlarge their melons. This would solve their problem. What do you think? Canaday comforts the twins saying their melons will grow in time. Tanya jokes that maybe they won't. Runa chases her and splashes water on her. Sora tells her to make them look so desperate. Runa falls in front of Sora and splashes her with water. Sora gets mad and starts chasing Runa. Suddenly, a fish mistakes Canaday's tail for food and bites it. She screams and Rain wakes up. He notices that the squirrels are not alarmed but decides to check on the girls. He rushes to the lake and gets ready to fight. To his surprise, he finds all 4 girls naked with Kanaday's tail wiggling with fish. He obviously takes a full minute to admire the view before blushing and turning around. All the girls are stunned and scream out. MC profusely apologizes after being able to see all of them. He's just sad because he failed. No Nut November challenge. Runa tries comforting Sora as she cannot believe Rain had seen her naked. MC promises to do anything for their forgiveness. Kanaday and Tanya approach him and ask if he is serious about doing anything. MC hesitantly agrees, but Tanya pokes his head, only to tell him to act normally. She says it was embarrassing for her to be seen naked. Kanaday adds that Rain had rushed in because he heard her scream, so Tanya feels that Rain's intention was noble, and they should not feel awkward about it. All the girls agreed with Tanya. MC thanked them for being so understanding. Tanya invites Rain to take a dip as well to help cool him off. Maybe this is because of all the heat he feels after taking a peek. Rain, without thinking, passes on the opportunity. I don't know about you guys, but to take a bath with 4 beautiful women, are you really going to say no? The group continues on with their journey without any other incidents. Arriving at the mines, Rain theorized that there might be people illegally mining the mithril and was planning to do some scouting first. However, a bird circling in the sky starts squawking and alarms 2 people who come out and check. Rain decides they should attack them and get information from them. However, Tanya and Kanaday use too much force and both bandits get knocked out. Rain scolds both as he warned them not to go overboard. Kanaday feels guilty and says nothing, but Tanya asserts that the guy had moved and hit her fist. Well, this is certainly a good excuse that I will surely use. Rain gives up on trying to find more information from the bandits, but the twins volunteer to use their memory search magic to get information from them. This astonishes Rain and they start using the spell. The twins search the bandits' memories and are able to confirm Rain's theory on the illegal mining of mithril. They also find out that there are 5 more bandits inside the mine and all of them are actually adventurers like them. As Rain reflects on this information, Sora asks if they'd have been useful to him. He tells them that they have helped a lot and thanks them for their effort. Runa demands that MC should pet them. This puzzles MC, so they explain that Kanaday and Tanya had told them that the way he pets them makes them feel that they are getting an exclusive or rare item. Although Rain is unconvinced by the effect of his petting. I wonder what kind of special petting is involved. Do you guys have any ideas? Rain obliges them and pats their heads and acknowledges the good job they had done. The twins are ecstatic while Kanaday and Tanya look a bit jealous of not receiving MC's special petting. Before entering the cave, Rain tells them that the bandits know that they are coming. Rain pointed out the reason why the bandits were able to react to their scouting was because of the bird, revealing that they may be facing a beast tamer like Rain. Preps up the party as they are going to fight against adventurers, which he assumes includes a beast tamer. Inside the mine, the bandits noticed that the 2 members were out for too long, with the beast tamer, presumably the leader, concluding that they were defeated. This immediately made them wary as they prepared to fight. As Rain and his party were walking through the tunnel, they were attacked by a large fireball. The twin sisters Runa and Sora reacted in time to cast a barrier, defending the party against the flames. Runa and Sora then canceled the mage's next fireball and cast some restraints on 2 spellcasters. Seeing the 2 subdued, the remaining adventurers launched arrows at the party but were quickly blocked the arrows by Tanya's fire breath. This allowed Kanaday to jump on one of the 2 archers with a kick. Meanwhile, Tanya used her tail to knock the other one down. After Kanaday tied the 2 adventurers up, Rain went after the leader who was agitated that they were working for Gantz. The beast tamer tried to stab Rain but was quickly knocked down with a strong punch to the chest. Not wanting to back down, the beast tamer summoned a powerful minotaur-like monster called a behemoth. Tanya notes that this is a B-rank monster. Sora adds that it has an innate hostility towards humans. Rain knows that taming a monster like the behemoth would require a huge amount of magic and skill. However, the evil beast tamer informs them that he had raised the behemoth since infancy, allowing him to bypass all the requirements. He orders the monster to kill all of them. It attacks Rain, but he is able to dodge it. but its punch shakes the whole mine. Sora worries that if the attacks continue, the cave will collapse. The monster continues its attack, and Kanade calls out to Rain. Their eyes meet. She realizes what she must do. She starts giving instructions to Tanya. Together with the twins, they get all the captured bandits out of the cave. Outside the cave, the group hears the thunderous attacks by the monster. Tanya tells Kanade that she will stand guard. Kanade thanks her, and she goes back inside the cave. Meanwhile, inside the cave, Rain continues to dodge the behemoth's attacks. But this causes the cave to become unstable and rocks fall from the ceiling. Rain gets hit by one of the falling debris and he falls down. This gives the monster a chance to hit him with a fatal blow. Just as Behemoth was about to pummel him, Kanade arrives just in time to get Rain into safety. MC thanks her for saving him and asks her how the others are doing. Kanade tells him that all of them are safely outside and she has returned to help him. Then, the two devised a plan with Rain to take on the Behemoth, while Kanade would sneak up on the beast Tamer to restrain him. At this point, Rain managed to get used to the Behemoth's simple attack pattern that allowed him to evade more easily, allowing Kanade to restrain the beast Tamer from commanding the Behemoth properly. Rain managed to overwrite the contract and take control over the Behemoth. Agitated, the beast Tamer accidentally caused the monster to go berserk. To save the beast Tamer, Rain killed the monster with a powerful fireball, much to the beast Tamer's despair. It was revealed that the adventurers were Gantz's former customers who later on discovered the truth behind the quality of their weapons. In their anger, they plotted revenge by stealing mithril from the mines so that Gantz would not be able to craft weapons anymore. In his dismay, Gantz realized the consequences of his arrogance and recognized that he wronged both his customers and his craft in the process. After Rain points out to Gantz that if he has seen his mistake, he can start doing real work. Yeah, like the real work that you should be doing instead of watching anime while working, Gantz realizes that his scamming ways were not really good for business. He promises that he would make weapons that are of good quality and take both his work and his customers seriously. Gantz asks MC what type of weapon would be like. Rain requests a short sword and a gauntlet. Yes, a gauntlet like the Infinity Gauntlet. Everyone wants one of those, right? This surprises Gantz, but Rain whispers to him some of his ideas. The dwarf asks to give him time to make the weapons for him. MC notes that this is perfect as he was thinking that they should all take a break. The girls welcome this idea happily. In the village, the hero Arios is interviewing another beast tamer who he eventually deems to be unworthy to join their group. This surprises the beast tamer as he had passed all the requirements. Arios explains that he is a beast tamer who can only tame one beast at a time. This would not be able to support the front lines and the beast tamer looks like he cannot fight at all. The applicant tries to plead his case, but Arios asks if he can tame an ultimate species. The applicant informs him that it is impossible for a human to tame an ultimate species. Arios comments that the applicant is weaker than him. By him, he meant Rain, the main character whom he kicked out of the party at the start of the series. Arios dismisses the applicant for being unable to fight and unable to support the supply lines. The applicant leaves disheartened and Arios asks Mina to get the next one. She tells him that that was the last one. Arios notes that their interviews were a failure as most of the applicants were useless. Mina notes that the last applicant should have passed as a support for the team, but she realizes that there were others who were talented as well who were rejected. Mina was starting to feel dismayed as their journey was being postponed looking for a beast tamer with the standards Arios had set to surpass Rain. She feels that if this continues, their journey will not continue and their subjugation of the demon lord will end up just a dream. Mina requested Arios to lower his standard. This angers him as he asks if Mina is questioning his judgment. She panics and tells him that she does not question him. Deep inside, she realizes that ever since Rain left them, Arios has started becoming angrier and has even turned his wrath on her. For the sake of her duty and faith, Mina endured his anger and conceded to him as he is recognized as the hero. She appeases him by affirming his correct judgment and she takes her to leave, but she reminds Arios of his duty as the world's savior. He brings out a rather ominous ring with a terrible plot in mind. The next day, Rain arrives at the guild to ask about the situation regarding the illegal miners. Natalie explains that the arrested adventurers would have their licenses revoked and be forced into labor, much to Rain's surprise. However, this was because illegal mining and keeping a monster was a huge crime, and they also had other crimes to begin with. Rain leaves the guild feeling down. He tells the twins that the adventurers were going to be punished. Noting his sadness, they try to cheer him up by pointing out that he did the right thing. If they had left the behemoth where it was, more people would have been harmed. They were also able to get Mithril and Gantz to become good also. Afterward, Rain hangs out with the twins in town where Runa and Sora played around while Tanya and Canaday took a nap back at the inn. The twins discover and taste a hot dog which they find very delicious. After finishing their meal, Rain and the twins would begin to discuss their contract, specifically the power Rain should receive from them. Unfortunately, Rain could not detect any changes. This shocks Runa and Sura. As fairies, they had assumed his magic power would have increased. Runa suggests that Rain must learn all the magic they use. He may be also able to do ultimate magic. Rain asks what ultimate magic is, and they explain that it is a technique fairies use that surpasses advanced and super class magic by a mile. They, however, are still unable to cast it, and they think MC might have gotten the knowledge after he tamed them. They ask if a magic formation formula has appeared inside his head. Unfortunately, Rain is unable to think of any new magic at the moment. The twins start feeling that they were failures as familiars. Rain tries cheering them up by telling them he does not judge his comrades by their power or their contract, but the two still have doubts and question why he believes in them so much. Having already been abandoned once by their village, they feel the need to prove themselves to him, especially with strong people like Canaday and Tanya by his side. He shares with them his story. He tells them of how he was also abandoned by his party for being useless because of his role as a beast tamer. He explained that in the beginning, he had no confidence in himself and often strived to prove himself to his party, only to be discarded in the end, and thought that if only he would have trusted them more. The twins comforted him, blaming them instead. However, Rain had already decided to move on and grow with the comrades he has now, establishing Runa and Sora as his precious comrades. Satisfied with his answer, the twins were prompted to eat after discussing such a heavy topic despite having eaten before. However, they eventually encountered a handsome man accompanied by a pair of knights, who seems to be looking at the girls with seemingly ill intentions, inviting the girls to be with him, much to their dismay. With this, we end our video. Stay tuned for the next part and watch our other quality contents. Stay safe. Bye.